gonna have to have an explanation of some sort because I must have missed something with this movie.
You probably didn't.
No, okay. I'm
Well,
sitting there. I'm like, why the fuck? Who the fuck is Gallagher or whatever his name is? Like, who the
You mean the third Oasis brother? That's what I kept calling him.
the fuck is this clown? Yeah.
okay.
So
Well, yeah, and that's, I like I said, when I was a kid watching this, you don't pay attention to it because you're just looking for the dolls.
Yeah.
And as an adult, I'm like, oh, this is happening. Okay.
Yeah.
All
You don't
right.
get enough dolls as a kid in this movie for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and the other ones, you know what? I think I probably all got them mixed up at this point because I'm pretty sure I watched them on Sci-Fi Channel. So
Yeah, they were always on sci-fi. I
Anyway.
remember watching the premiere of Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys on Sci-Fi back when it was still called, SCIFI before it was called SCIFI. That's called now.
Oh yeah.
What is with that bullshit site that's like SYFY? Like, why are we being lazy?
I mean, that extra letter was just too much for sci-fi. Now it's not cool. Y's are cool. That's not cool. Y's are cool.
Got to be hip and trendy, man.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Super stupid.
Anyways, this is Slashers, your new favorite podcast about your new favorite horror media, or I guess old horror media. My name is Ade, and with me, as always, are my esteemed colleagues, co-hosts, and cohorts, Jason and Austin. Boys, we are all together again. Say hello to the mutant goons from beyond.
Austin, what is your favorite puppet? Go now. Can't think about it now.
Pinhead.
You can't
Pinhead.
Go. Okay, gotcha.
Pinhead.
All right, cool.
I had that one locked and ready to go. I was like, no, my favorite one's Pinhead because I love.
For some reason, I've been doing that at work a lot, just like running up to somebody on a question, like, "Hey, I got this question. Do it now. Go. You can't think about it. Stop."
I like that though. It's a good way to get a quick answer.
If you want to really stress somebody out, too, it's a lot of fun.
All right, that's my new game now.
That's what you start doing in your students' aid. Answer the. Well, how do you conjugate this verb? Now, do it now. Exactly.
Well, and that's the thing, as I do. Like yesterday, I was it was yesterday. Yesterday, I was sicker than dog. Oh my God, I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I was at school, but I was scoring presentations for an AP course.
Okay.
And so I had a sub in my room watching my kids all day. And I forgot a charger for one of the other teachers, and I had one in my room. So I'm like, let me go run over and get it. I walk in and it's like they don't do their work, but the minute they see, because there's a substitute, they don't give a shit. And the minute they see me walk in, all their phones go in their laps and they're scrambling to put their shit on. And I'm like calling kids out left and right. What are you doing?
Quick, what does Napoleon represent in animal form? Do it now. Tell me. Who is Napoleon?
And this little substitute, who's probably like 19 years old, is just sitting there just looking at me. And I go, oh, I'm Miss Santiago, by the way. I need to get my charger. Bye.
This is my classroom, and don't you forget it.
I never had a young substitute. There were always these old ladies that, barely make their way to school.
No, this little girl's really pretty. The kids beg for her to come back every time I leave. Well, is Miss So-and-so coming back? I go, oh no.
She's like a college student, or is she just somebody with a gig?
She was working on math, so I'm assuming she's in college because she had her iPad open and she was doing her own homework.
Do you
nerd
as a substitute teacher in Florida? Is that a union gig in Florida?
No, it's a service, and it works with the counties, and basically you just put in for a day. So usually our secretary does it, but if I have to call in, I have to call, and I just tell them that I need something, and then whoever's working there will pick it up. And
gotcha.
But
teachers in North Carolina are not allowed to unionize.
Oh, the teachers are, but they're trying to fuck our union over right now because they're no longer taking dues from our paychecks. Now we have to sign up and actually have the dues come out because the state's trying to screw the union. So it's like a whole thing.
Oh man,
you'll go
the way of North Carolina soon enough.
I just need to not work anymore, and I think I'll be happy.
that would be ideal. Yeah, just collect a check, win the lottery, do something. That'd be great.
Yeah, how can I get paid to not do much or nothing?
You could be like our character in this film and just find some rich chick with with an inheritance in a giant ass hotel.
Yeah, Neil Gallagher of Puppet Master really had things figured out. he married somebody rich and figured out how to be immortal until some puppets killed him, kind of. We'll see.
So the film in question today for our full moon, this is our last full moon film this month, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And for those of you who don't know, we're going to advertise it, but we also just dropped The Greasy Strangler. It is coming out. It's already out right now. So if you're listening to this episode and you haven't heard it yet, it is on Spotify right now. And it's actually a Patreon bonus, but we are sharing it with the rest of the world because it is like Doug's favorite movie. And so that's our little bonus for this month. But today we decided we were actually going to do some full moon movies or a full moon film and talk about the sequels that are actually really good. And
this is what I had in mind when I originally pitched full moon movies. I don't know how it became Ginger Dead and Evil Bong Month. I was thinking we do this or Demonic Toys or Subspecies, good 90s era full moon movies, not current era full moon movies.
Well, yeah, but it actually kind of works out because today we're also recording, ladies and gentlemen, on 420, hence Austin's green attire. And his sunglasses he just had. He's got, our Larnell of the Slashers podcast over here. And so, I was just like thinking, okay, that actually worked out well. Will we do this again? Probably not. I simply can't do Trauma and then this shit back to back.
Yeah, that was also when I had the idea, it's like, let's follow Trauma up with full moon. Then we'll do Roger Corman month next month. What could go wrong?
Oh my God. Listen, we've already done Slumber Party Massacre. No. Roger Corman's gonna have to wait until the next train rolls around because I'm not doing it next month.
You don't want to do Humanoids from the Deep again?
No. Well, Jake and Doug already did that, obviously.
Yeah.
So isn't that
I couldn't remember
in that episode? Actually, that's actually a very good episode. That was before I joined.
Okay, I couldn't remember it. Yeah.
Or maybe I had joined. I don't know. I just remember Doug and Jake had did it. And I was like, Doug is so funny. I love him. And now look at all of us. Don't tell Jake. Anyway.
Doug is here in spirit, though, by the way. He said he wanted to be here, but he had to pick up Mikey from the airport, I believe.
Yeah. So our boo-boo Mikey is currently visiting Doug and Yahira out in sunny California because they have some fun projects coming up. And so I'm really excited, but I'm actually really sad because I'm not there and I'm the fun one and I should be there, but that's okay.
LA needs some Adrian. Is that what LA needs, Adrian?
LA needs an aid. That's exactly true. Like they didn't know what was coming for them when I showed up last year. So
the first time,
just really Florida the place up, just
that's what they need, man. You need a little bit of Florida in your life. But Doug and Yahira are visiting me at the end of May, so that's gonna be really exciting. So for all of our listeners, if you want to catch us live in any of those times, we'll keep you posted on that. Maybe we'll call Jason, maybe we'll do a road trip and go see Jason. Austin lives in town, but he lives all the way in Sanford.
I know.
It's too far. No.
Too far. So far away from
Is that in the same county as Orlando?
No.
Okay.
Seminole County. So
Seminole County.
Some part of
he's a half an hour away.
From downtown, I'm about half an hour.
She might as well be on the moon.
I might as well be, yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to come visit us when's the baby coming? Baby's coming soon.
July.
Okay, so then in May you're gonna come see us for a day or come visit us or come meet us up and do something with us so we can all right. We can share it on the interwebs.
Oh my God, it's almost May now. Holy shit, I just realized that. It's like 10 days away. Ugh, where's this year going? Oh my God.
I don't know, because we're all getting old. So back to Puppet Master. Speaking of an old film, so Puppet Master. So we're doing Puppet Master today, and I'm actually really happy about that because I think that it is a solid film, and there's a lot of cheese made with it. I didn't realize when I was doing my research.
Beef. There's some beef.
Some beef, and it comes out on October 12th, 1989. But did you know that October 12th is Hugh Jackman's birthday? Although he was born in 1968.
He was obviously celebrating by watching this movie, obviously.
Exactly. My man. Anyway, So he's currently training to be Logan again. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you need to follow him on Instagram, like and subscribe. So back to Puppet Master. The tagline of the film is "Evil comes in all sizes." So I just want to say how stinking cute they are. Like, they're so freaking cute, especially Blade, the one behind me. And I'm like, how could you be scared of that? Like, I would just be like, oh my God, I just want to pick you up and keep you and take you home with me. So,
and then he would slice you up on the elevator like you did.
That's true. But I will say that I don't believe, and I've only watched parts 1 and 2, but I don't believe that they are evil. I believe whoever is in charge of them is evil.
Yeah,
right?
It's kind of like the genie from Aladdin.
Yeah. So, and they were abused. That, when Gallagher gets them and when he throws little dolls in all of their faces and they're all like
what?
This motherfucker.
I was the same way. I'm like, how dare you just like throw him? What the fuck? So I was very upset over that.
Like somebody just kicked Stella. Like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you?
Even his face came back and it wasn't straight. And I was like, oh, you fucked up his face too, man. Like, damn.
And that's when he knew this guy was pure evil. Not all the other things he did in this movie, but when he threw Pinhead across the room, when he threw Jester across the room, that's when he knew this guy was really not fucking around.
Real piece of work.
Yeah, and honestly, I will say that was probably the scariest part of the first one, is when the body would just show up out of the coffin and just sit there. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because I don't remember, I don't know when you all saw this movie, but again, I saw it when I was a kid on TV. And so I don't know what parts I was watching, but you're just, when you're a kid, you're watching the doll parts. Cause like, even watching Child's Play back in the day, and I was watching it way too young, but my cousins were babysitting me, so there was no supervision. And I don't remember that Chucky or Child's Play has like all of this going on, right? Like, all I remember is the parts with Andy, or like when he's calling the mom a bitch and like fighting her and stuff. And so like, that's all I remember. And so, it's the same with this one. I don't remember anything else that happens. And so it was like rewatching it for the first time, and God knows how long. So I don't know how the two of you felt about it, but
yeah, I watched this movie. I remember getting it at the video store and watching it and I was probably too young to really be watching it, but I remember watching it. This was probably like 97 or something when I watched it, because I would see these trailers for this movie all the time when other movies I was renting. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch it. And I was like, this is so scary. I watched it now and was like, I'm kind of surprised because it's sort of slow. It's not a long movie, but it kind of drags a bit. The psychics that are going to the hotel just really remind me of like an episode of Sally Jesse Raphael. And they used to always have like psychics on television, or Ricky Lake.
Oh,
like
God.
Sylvia Brown, the psychic Sylvia Brown, who can tell her where all the your dead kids are.
That takes me back.
Yeah,
that is hilarious. Oh my gosh! Because oh no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and there's also an episode of South Park when they had psychics and they just kept doing psychic fighting, going do. So like, that's what these characters are. And the one that was horned up the entire time, the one with he wasn't, and her boyfriend that just had a stupid ponytail, the one guy who just dreams. That's all he does. He just dreams. Those weird dream sequences with the guy in the mask dancing with his wife.
Yeah, because they can't reveal, the twist, right? Well,
yeah,
I mean, you realize it's not a twist, like he's not dead. But my thing is, so really quick, if you haven't seen this movie, or if you have seen it, or you don't know what it's about psychics who find themselves plotted against by a former colleague who committed suicide after discovering animated murderous puppets. So we have all these different psychics who do different things. And, at the beginning of the film, you see the guy, the uncle from Christmas Vacation who lit his toupee on fire. And he is Andre Toulon.
William Hickey, yeah. Andre Toulon.
Hickey, yeah.
You'll recognize that voice as soon as you hear it. Just that beautiful, beautiful honey baked voice.
Yeah, and so, and he's talking to the dolls, and it's so cute. There's the one doll in the beginning, and that's actually a real marionette puppet from a like Japanese like play or something.
Huh.
And he's looking through the window, and you never see him again. And so I thought that was interesting. Like, he shows up once, but he's an actual marionette puppet from, whatever the hell he was famous for. So I thought it was cute they had him. And then, downstairs you've got Blade running around because Blade knows that the bad people are coming to kill
The
Andre.
Nazis.
The Nazis are coming, which I didn't realize that until like I think, I put two and two together, and I was like, oh.
Oh, are they Nazis?
Oh yeah, this series has Nazis all over it.
Oh, that's why they're walking like perfectly in line with each other and like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, I was like, that's weird. Why are they perfectly in sync? That's odd.
And then I guess you find out they're Nazis in part 3 if you didn't realize, because part 3 is a prequel of why Andre Toulon like brings the dolls to life and all of that. So I don't know if William Hickey shows up. I didn't get to that. I watched part 2 the other day, and I did really like it, but I actually moved on to Rage Carrie 2. I watched the Carrie remake, and nobody responded to my 25-page long diatribe of why that fucking movie sucks so bad.
I was in the middle of something, and I was going to like just keep goading you on, but then I forgot about it because I know you love when I talk about like when I just like bother you about Chloe Grace Moretz because I know you love her in that movie so much. But I was in the middle of something. And I just kind of like I just let her blow off steam.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason.
I was gonna come in, but I knew Ade would be like, Austin, here's fucking Austin coming out of the woodwork to talk about how good this movie is. I was like, I just want to see if anybody responds, and no one did. And I was like, I can't be the only one to respond.
I've never even seen the remake. I just remember seeing the trailer.
Oh, really?
I was waiting for Ade to be like, in this fucking bitch, she just like makes cars flying and she got blood all over. What fucking movie is this? I hate this fucking movie.
Oh my god. I thought I might like it. Like I thought I would like it again. Like maybe I would find some redeeming qualities because I hated it back then, but I was drunk when I saw it, so I was like, I don't really remember what happens. And I'm like, oh god, it's even worse than I remembered. And so nobody responded. And then Austin, you don't get to say anything to me when you still haven't seen or heard of the movie Bug.
Listen, okay. Listen, it's not my fault. This is why I have you guys. Okay, you guys tell me about all this stuff because I missed so much of it as a kid. So
Austin, you've got 500,000 movies behind you. Not one of them is Bug. Not one movie is Bug.
Oh, nope, not even on that shelf, which has even more. Nothing in the category of Bug. I have Slither that involves bugs, but no, just Bug. I'm sorry.
So, was this the first time you had seen this movie, Austin? Puppet Master?
No, I didn't grow up watching it, because of my Christian household, but I did watch it for the first time 3 years ago, and apparently I didn't enjoy it because I only gave it 2 stars. But upon watching it this time, I had way more fun with it. So I don't know if I was just in a pissy mood when I watched it originally. I don't know. But this is my second watch, but I really liked it on this go.
It was probably you were just so your tastes have gotten so low from watching all of those Evil Bong movies in quick succession. Like anything would be, like Citizen Kane almost after watching all of those things.
Everything.
And then in 2 days you watched 6 movies that are not good.
Austin went back to his letterbox and gave everything 2 stars compared to just upped it up a little bit.
Drop it. I'm moving everything up that's not Evil Bong. Everything gets a half-star extra now because those movies were
just because it wasn't Evil Bong. That's what all your reviews should say now. At least this wasn't Evil Bong. Extra star.
Every review from now on. Could be worse. It could be Evil Bong 888 Infinity High or whatever.
Was that the worst? Did you watch all of them? You watched all of them, didn't you?
I watched all of them. No, the worst ones were 4 and 5 because they got really fucking racist for no reason. And
that's right. You told me about that. Yeah, and that was like 2014 too. Like it wasn't like
I think it had to do with what was going on politically, because that's around the time he got elected. So maybe that's what it was. But 6 wasn't racist, and neither were 7 and 8. So it's like this weird little spot in the Evil Bong franchise that's just like, I'm never gonna watch 4 and 5 again.
Trigger warning for sure. And and that's the thing. So we go from those types of full moon films, and then you look at this one. And I actually found some cheese me on it if y'all want to hear.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it was originally intended for a summer 1989 theatrical release before it was released to home video. But it was ultimately pushed to direct-to-video release on October 12th, Hugh Jackman's birthday. And as band felt this was likely to be more financially successful than the theatrical market. It has been very popular and does have a cult following now. We know this. However, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I think it probably could have benefited from having a theatrical release. But there was a lot of issues with the director. And let me see if I can find it, because I don't even know where I put the.
Wasn't it a band that still directed it? It wasn't Charles Band, wasn't it Richard Band?
Richard Band did the music for it.
He did the music.
Did the music. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
David Schmoeller directed it, but he had mentioned later on that Charles Band didn't want him to keep doing the series. Oh, here it is. In an interview with horror movie website The Terror Trap, David Schmoeller admitted the reason he was not involved with the rest of the franchise was that it would reveal someone else besides producer Full Moon CEO Charles Band, who was responsible for the creation of Full Moon's biggest franchise. So basically he was like, no, you can't do anymore. But actually Charles Band didn't do part 2 either. So I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I don't. But they've heard all kinds of bad things about Charles Band for like taking people's credits off of movies, not paying residuals like he should have. So it's not surprising that he would sort of keep David Schmoeller out of it, so he could not pay him more money. Maybe.
Yeah, he still owes him, according to Schmoeller, that Charles Band still owes him residuals, especially for the DVD release.
Jeez.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know how true this is, but I mean, because that's one person saying it. I mean, why would he say it if there was some kind of, but again, this was inspired by Charles Band's earlier Killer Toys movie Dolls. So basically,
it's a good movie.
He got the idea for Dolls, and yeah, Dolls is pretty good from what I remember. Now I have to revisit it again, and so that's where Puppet Master came into effect. And honestly, I think that for the effects and the time that it was made, the dolls looked really good.
Sure. Even the stop motion, the little stop motion animation they used for this movie, that looked really good considering, like, I know this was a low budget movie that didn't have a lot of resources to go into it. And this was the first Full Moon movie that they did also. This was the first movie he did after Empire was taken away from him. But it still even feels like an Empire movie a lot of times I watch this movie. It feels like a Ghoulies movie or Dolls, obviously. And so it feels more like it's one of those movies and sort of later like Demonic Toys or Seed People or Subspecies. If you guys have seen those movies, those are a lot of fun. Yeah, that's what I was kind of, even more now that I watched it, it felt more like one of those movies as opposed to, what we got in the 90s ultimately with Full Moon.
Yeah,
because it's not cheesy or funny at all. It's pretty straightforward. It drags, like I said, it drags a little bit, but there's really no comedy in this at all.
Well, I would argue that of course, we know who my favorite psychic was.
Was it the horny psychic or is it the drunk psychic?
The one that was always drinking the wine. What was her
name?
Yeah. The White Witch, or is that what they called her? The White Witch or something like that?
Nasty Bitch is what she called herself.
Oh, Nasty Bitch.
Oh, yeah. Dana. I love Dana. I was like, oh my God, that's me. Watching this movie.
Oh, so you're going to ruin somebody's life after her husband dies? Just right in front of everybody?
That was cold-hearted, and I was like, "I'm for it. I'm for it."
I was thinking, that Dave Chappelle, cold-blooded.
Well, it was funny because I was sitting there and I was drinking wine as I was watching it, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I do that all the time." Like, I just kind of like say things sometimes just to like see what happens.
She even had a stuffed pet animal, a pet dog.
I know, she loved her dog. I mean, come on. So. And it was funny. I loved how she was fucking with Barbara Crampton at the beginning. So Barbara Crampton makes a cameo
in
this
heartthrob
film.
Yeah.
And so of course she was dating some piece of shit. And I'm thinking to myself, Barbara Crampton, what are you doing? Like, you don't need a psychic to tell you that man don't have a good job. Like,
he's going to be a rich man, though, according to her.
Well,
and maybe she'll marry him.
And that's the weird thing. Like, it's strange that she would lie because she does have these powers. So why is she lying to them? I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, there's no money in the truth. Okay, you got to make everybody feel good for them to give you money.
That's true. So I thought that was interesting with her. And then I don't know if this was cultural appropriation or if she was just like sort of made to be like a witch, but with her shaking the stuff around the body. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on now? But she always had the bottle of champagne in her hand, and I'm like, I can relate. So I was happy with that.
And that one psychic who was just like, I guess she kept saying she would feel what everything was, but it was really just sex, apparently. On the elevator, in the bathtub, in the bed. Like, at one point you would think like, oh, this car was actually bought in 1978. Two old people that drove it around a lot. Cool. But it was like, no, she get in the bathtub and she was like having an orgasm because two lesbians stayed there for a weekend. And then she would talk about Clark Gable and who was there? Who was his wife?
I was Hedy Lamarr, or not Hedy Lamarr.
What was it was the one that died.
Clark Gable, and I know I was thinking that because I started looking up their pictures.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now I need to know. And Carol Lombard.
Yeah, that's it. And there's like they stayed here at a weekend of passion.
So, well, it's funny because firstly, I have a couple things to say about this hotel. And the hotel is not real. Like it's actually like a little dollhouse that they kind of.
That's why it looks so weird. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I thought it was neat. It's a forced perspective kind of thing that they put in front of the camera. I thought it looked pretty. I mean, I was like, okay, that's not real, but it still looks good for, especially considering, like if you watch the old Star Wars movies, they're clearly using models, but it looks really good, And I thought that this movie pulled off that pretty good. I thought.
Yeah, no, I think it looks fine, but obviously it's not really there because this is Bodega Bay, California, right? And so Bodega Bay, we all know from the birds, metadata, and I think that it's that's actually really cute, and I felt like that the hotel though, like it's supposed to be like a 5-star hotel, like a fancy hotel, whatever. And I think it might have been fancy when Andre Toulon was dealing with it. Maybe it looks a little better, but I don't know if y'all noticed, and this drove me nuts. Every time they showed the carpet was gross. It had snags in it. The paint was flaking, the wallpaper was coming down. I go, how are they trying to sell that this is a fancy and this woman has all this money and this fucking hotel's going to shit? Like, I don't, and part two makes sense because the hotel's been abandoned for a while, right?
Yeah.
But in this one, like, it's still a good.
There's people there,
Yeah, it's this kind of thing you get away with in VHS when you couldn't notice the paint peeling, but now when everything's in like hyper definition, you can notice everything on the walls. Or like, you see there's every once in a while you'll see some old movie or like 80s cheap slasher movie that was like, oh, okay, so we weren't supposed to see that camera there. These lines coming
or the
down.
Little boom mic or whatever.
The worst one is in Sleepaway Camp where it's supposed to be like Angela, but they used her cousin, the boy, as a stand-in, and you can clearly see it's her cousin that's the stand-in. It looks real bad on Blu-ray.
Yeah. And well, I mean, especially for this film. So I don't think that the film itself feels bad. Like I feel like all of the actors do really well.
Yeah.
I love the effects with the puppets. They're all practical. There's stop motion. Even with Pinhead, the fists are actually a stunt woman. Cindy.
Oh, stunt woman. Oh, nice.
Who's a little person, and those are her hands.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
she said it was hard to keep the head on top of her head, Pinhead's head on top of her head. I had it like popping out all the time when she was acting in it.
Oh, how fun. Well, not for her, I guess.
Yeah.
And then even like the leech woman, that puppet, the mouth was made of foam latex and it would appear more flexible. And so like that's how they could get like only 3/4 of the leech mechanism comes out of the puppet, and then a simple camera cut creates the illusion that an entire leech comes out of the mouth.
Did anybody think she was just birthing a turd out of her mouth while she was doing this?
Oh yeah.
Like it just looked like a straight turd. Or you remember that South Park episode where Cartman figures out how to poop out of his mouth? That's all I was thinking from when that happened.
Yeah.
And she gets written off the series at Paramount's request.
Oh, the leech.
Leech woman. She's in part 3 briefly, and then she's not in any other ones because they just thought she was too gross. And since Paramount was distributing the movies at the time, they're like, "Hey Charles, let me ask you a little question real quick. Are you married to Leech Woman? Because she's kind of fucking gross."
They're not supposed to be good, little puppets. I mean, I guess if they're killing people, they should be gross or something. I mean, I don't know. But
so you're like, do we have to have nipple play with these leeches? Do we have to have that in this movie? Because that's kind of what happens here a little bit.
Get that out of here.
Yeah. And so let's talk about that couple, because so there is a couple in the film. And so basically, all of these psychics have this vision, everybody. And they know that the vision's coming from Gallagher, Austin's favorite person. And
fucking Gallagher.
Austin doesn't know who Gallagher is. But yeah, Austin's favorite person. And so like they all like realize they have to go see him because they know that he's up to something. So apparently Gallagher like cheated them. He's a piece of shit. Nobody likes him. Fuck him. Blah blah blah. And when they get there, he's dead. And Dana, which I would have done the same because you're practicalities, sticks him with like this long fucking hat pin. Is it a hat pin?
Yeah.
How long is this pin? And
she was like, she went ham on it too. She was like,
she just stuck it in him. And the funny thing is, it reminded me of side rant is that episode of Melrose Place where that one guy who plays Austin in Days of Our Lives is also in Melrose Place, and I forget his name in there, but he was terrorizing Jane. I think it was Jane, and they weren't sure if he was dead, and so like they had to go identify the body, and she had a safety pin, and this was on like regular time TV. She sticks the safety pin in him. And they showed it.
Wow.
On TV.
This is like late 90s too.
Yeah. So that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, did Melrose Place like get this from Puppet Master?
Yeah, they ripped off Charles Band. Fox,
no.
get it right. Get it right,
Good
Fox.
Lord, I know.
Audacity.
The audacity. So anyway, so they think he's dead, and obviously the body keeps coming out of the casket and post. And the first time the body comes out and is sitting there, that would have been my cue to leave.
And she just starts talking to her. She's like, "Oh, hey, I thought you'd show up, but anyway, I'm gonna go about my business." I'm like, "How is this not the weirdest thing in your entire life ever up to this point?" Yeah. And you're just like blasé-faire about it. I was like, "Oh, what's going on? I want to take a little shut eye. You want to like turn the TV off or something?"
For being psychics, they sure did not see that coming at all.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I just thought it was such a stupid thing to have them as psychics. Like, that was like a very, like, a dumb. They could have done this entire film and everyone just be regular people, and Gallagher is just a piece of shit, maybe a business partner. Yeah. Maybe someone they knew in college that they know a secret that he killed somebody in college or something.
Yeah.
Because he was fucking around with shit in college. Why do we have to have psychics? So we can have these, like, overtly sexual visions from that one chick, basically, and he's raping a woman in an elevator.
Yeah,
it's like, what's happening?
And no one seems to care. And I'm like, what?
And she was like, and at the end she's like, and it's not his wife. Like, who gives a shit? He's still doing it.
He's still raping her. Oh my god!
Still forcing yourself upon someone is not okay. It doesn't matter if they're married or not. It's not okay.
I mean, and so Gallagher is clearly problematic. And so, we know that he's a piece of shit. Dana's goading the wife on. The wife, she was such a good actress. And she was playing, what was her name?
Gallagher's wife?
Yeah, Gallagher's wife.
Oh, yeah.
I liked her a lot.
She was great.
I really did. I thought she was great. And, for a full moon film, like, this really did have a lot of layers. I was just really surprised, like, the women in the film were all very attractive, but every fucking man looked like garbage. Like,
what was going on with that? They all had the craziest hair.
And everybody had bad hair, and all these you're telling me these young women are fucking these ugly ass old guys with, nothing. Like, no. Like, the realism here, especially Ponytail, had to go. I was so happy when he died. And the thing is like, he died and he couldn't even protect the girl. Like, he couldn't even do that right. Like, oh fuck.
And he was tied up with like just like just the littlest things of that he could have just been like, oh, okay, let me get this real quick. Just the slightest inconvenience, and it wasn't Gerald's game that he was tied up to. He was just.
It was like a sash from a robe or some bullshit. Like, you could have broken the thing, the headboard, and gotten out.
And she doesn't make one noise about it as soon as she gets drilled in the face. Not one noise is like, oh, hey, what's going on here? Let me check this out.
Well, that's the thing. She saw it coming and she didn't move.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, he's gonna come and drill you in the face. I did like when they posed all the bodies later. Yeah. And how they all looked. That was
pretty cool. Yeah, that was really cool.
There's definitely a lot of good, like, spooky horror moments in this for sure.
It is creepy. It's creepy. It's really creepy when you just see Gallagher posing and sitting there. Because if like I said, and even when it was Dana's room and she's just talking to it like it's nothing, I was like, oh my god, like, why are you in there? Like, go. Why are you still in there? And then Dana throwing the fucking doll over the.
Yeah, it's a lot of good times.
That's what I would do. If a doll was trying to kill me, I'd just pick it up and fucking throw it. And I'm so glad somebody did that because nobody ever really does that to Chucky. And it's like, you can, like, he's not that big.
He doesn't seem to be like overly strong or anything. He's just a doll.
No.
He's got a lot of rage, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was, I think that this one is definitely a lot higher brow, Full Moon. And
oh, yeah.
You know.
It was a good one to kick off his new production company with, for sure. I remember watching this actually before school one day too, and it was like it came on like I was getting ready for school, and I think it came on like HBO or something, and I was like just watching it. And Mom was like, "What are you doing? Are you not ready for school yet?" And I was like, "But Killer Dolls are on, Mom. Like,
I got shit to do.
I've got things. This is more important than arithmetic. What even is that? I don't understand."
Yeah, and and the thing is I was wondering, like, I was also thinking about it too. So it was direct to video. So Jason, you were able to see it on TV. I mean, we were able to see it early on.
Sure.
Okay. But that year, even in October 1989, maybe it was a good thing he didn't release it because a couple of them, but Shocker came out that same month. And so did Halloween 5.
Don't like Halloween 5.
No, Halloween 5 is probably the worst. No, not after Halloween ends, but.
Yeah, I have a different opinion, but you'd be mad if I told you what my least favorite Halloween movie is.
I can't. I'm not fighting about Halloween ends right now.
It's not. No, it's not. It's a Rob Zombie Halloween movie. So that's.
Talk to me, please. Please talk to me.
But
tell me.
Even for the rest of the year, we're not bringing this up. That's good. We'll talk about it in October, Austin. You and Jason can have your little powwow. But for the rest of the year. We need to do like a little crossover. We had Society, Leviathan, awesome. Yeah, both awesome. Amityville 4, Pet Cemetery, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3, Mikey's favorite, Sleepaway Camp 3, speaking of Angela, Crocodile, Friday the 13th Part 8, Manhattan, but apparently according to Jason, he goes to Canada instead.
It is true.
And it is true. Yes, I know. I was reading.
Jason rides a boat to Vancouver. For most of this movie.
I know. Like the whole time we're thinking he's going to be running amok the city. Maybe that's why Scream 6 is in New York City. We're going to get a slasher in the city that we all deserve. So we have Crocodile. Wait, I already said that. Little Monsters, which I love Little Monsters.
I watched that so much when I was a kid.
Oh, that was like my
one with Howie Mandel.
Yeah,
Howie Mandel and the Savage Brothers.
Yeah. Piss. Someone put piss in my apple juice.
How did you know it was piss?
That's what I was like.
How do you know what piss tastes like? That's disgusting.
80s were weird, man.
I know it was a strange time, and we all just kind of like went with it. It was okay. So we had Warlock, Chud 2, the Toxic Avenger Part 3, Dead Calm, The Fly Part 2, The Burbs.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
I fucking love The Burbs. Damn, That's Scary just did an episode on it. Swamp Thing, and then I love Deep Star 6.
I've never seen it.
I know, like, it's so good. The whole movie is so good. And even though the monster is kind of shitty, everything else is really good. Like, you've got to watch Deep Star 6 if you have not. I highly recommend. Love it. So, anyways.
It's directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who did Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. So, you've got to watch Deep Star 6. Please do. Right after you watch Bug, and then you can come talk to me. Anyways. So the movie was written by Charles Band, Kenneth J. Hall, David Schmoeller. So Schmoeller was a part of the writing, I guess, as well. So maybe that's why he still has it. And it had a budget of $400,000. So I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, there wasn't that much money.
Puppet Master?
Yeah. $400,000.
Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah. So
wow.
Fun. So, I mean, honestly, it feels like it's definitely 80s. We know that.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's so good. I mean, the puppetry alone, like everything to do with the puppets. And I guess for the Blade, it required 5 puppeteers just to get him to move around and stuff. So
yeah, and I like just his POV stuff that he was doing around there, especially at the beginning of the movie when you hear him kind of breathing. Side note, that's exactly how I sound when I'm looking for Doritos around the office.
The little pitter patter of his feet is so funny.
Yeah.
But,
Just
okay,
breathing
but how did
hard and
nobody
Everybody's hiding in their cubicles as they hear Jason coming.
fear of the Doritos?
You have the
But no,
Doritos.
how did no one fucking see him at all, though? He walks past so many people that are clearly walking at him, and no one fucking notices him at all. And he's like hiding. I'm like, why are you hiding? No one's seeing you. He's so,
Yeah.
I guess because he's so tiny. I don't know. But
He's not
got
even that
he's got a
tall.
blade
I mean,
and a fucking,
yeah, he's not even
he's
that
a little
tiny.
guy,
But he's like
Yeah.
10
a
inches,
little
you know?
blade and-
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
this big. I think
How do you
I
miss
would
that?
notice him. I would notice him because I would think it was like, oh, is there a dog here? And it's not a dog. It's a wolf.
You see this
Okay.
thing running? What the fuck?
But
Dog
he's
running
so
with
cute.
scissors?
He's so cute, even with his little knife. I'm like, oh my god, look at you.
You're just like, Dan, can I keep it? Can I keep it?
I know.
Keep it in a cage.
So I mean, that's the thing, and I think that's endearing too, because I feel like they're scary and they're very capable of being scary, but they're also very cute. And I don't know. I mean, I guess Chucky is cute sometimes, but not really. Like
He's really
Chucky-
only
you
cute
like-
when he's like the good guy doll. You know what I mean? When he's not
Stitch face
actually
Chucky
alive.
or regular faced Chucky? What's the first one that you guys think to? Like when somebody says Chucky, which version do you think of?
Well, probably Stitch Face, because I think that for me, Bride of Chucky was like my favorite movie when it came out. I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I was only a kid. I was like 98, so I was only 10. You know,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
it was cute because the other one was scary, but Stitch Face, but when we get to Bride of Chucky, he's funny and he's quippy and he's got all these things going on, right? So
Yeah.
he's a different Chucky, and he's a little more doll-like. Like I think in the first couple movies, he's kind of gross looking. Like I don't know, like he does change throughout.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Austin, have you seen Dolls?
Oh, Stuart Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. That's one of my favorites.
It's this weird kind of like it's an R-rated movie, but it's clearly made for kids. Like it's so kind of a weird.
Yeah.
Is that
and
the
that
same
was
one? No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Austin.
that was Dolls was like 1984. 1986. Okay, so
yeah, it
3
was
years
after
before that.
Reanimator. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Reanimator was 85. But yeah, the Dolls, I mean, even for being 3 years prior to Puppet Master, they look just as good as Puppet Master, and they have like a whole entourage of dolls in that movie. So that's definitely one I recommend if you haven't seen that one. That's a classic 80s.
That's a fun movie for sure. It kind of gets overlooked a little bit, but no, it's a good. And it's got that cool poster with the chick just having holding eyeballs.
Yeah, and it's only an hour and 17 minutes, 77 minutes. It's you're in and you're out. It's a quick movie.
That is the good thing about full moon movies is and even the Empire movies, like you're in and you're out, you know, get you in your butt seat, you know, exactly. And that's it's same thing with all the Puppet Master movies. They're all like this length or shorter. And they get
now. Oh, good.
Oh, so and the first 4 I will say are solid. If you like this one, you'll probably like the first 4. The 5th one's bad. 4 and 5 are the same movie essentially. Like 5 picks up like immediately after the 4th one stops. And if they would have combined those to just one movie, it would probably be the best Puppet Master movie. But I like the second one the most. A lot of people like the third one the best, and that's probably because it's got the most plot. Things are happening. You know, everybody has like character development. It's probably the best movie, but it's really kind of an adventure movie. You know, it's Andre Toulon trying to get these puppets to kill these Nazis.
And so that's
the one that.
Yeah, they're doing good. Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, at the end of
one point. Oh, good.
Sorry, and actually, at the end of Puppet Master 3, it goes coming soon, Puppet Master 4, when bad puppets go good, and then that doesn't. And then that didn't really happen, and then they made it a completely different Puppet Master movie.
Oh, you gotta love that when they set it up for one way and then just completely disregard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what they do at the same in Puppet Master 2. They never go back to the way that one ends. You don't see anything with Andre Toulon's wife going to an insane asylum for kids. I want to see that movie.
They just leave that hanging.
Yeah, they just leave that hanging. She's got torch riding shotgun, and they're going off with some like kids.
Well, good news. If anybody does want to watch these, the first 3 are on Shudder.
They are on Shudder, yeah.
Yeah. Usually I typically like the third movie in a series, so I guarantee 3 will probably be my favorite, but I'll have to go hunting for, because what there's like, you said there's like 15 of these movies, right, Jason?
Yeah,
Like
there's
12
like
movies?
I've got watched all of them till now. They started doing the Axis trilogy, and they started being kind of action Nazi World War II movies, and I haven't seen any of those. And everybody said they're just awful to watch.
Oh, good.
I did watch Doctor Death. That one's on Tubi, which is a spinoff, and
Okay.
it's actually pretty good, especially considering what full moon movies are now. It's a lot better than most of them. Now they did somebody bought the right. Fangoria got the rights to do a one-off movie, The Littlest Reich. Now it's
Yeah.
not full
Yeah.
moon, yeah, and that's actually a pretty good movie. It's mean spirited as all get out, but it's a pretty good movie. It's a lot of fun if you haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I heard something about like a pregnant coming out of the pregnant belly or something like that.
Yeah, there's
So,
yeah.
the
It's
Littlest Reich. I never want. It's on my list.
but it's got Tom Slennon from Reno 911.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the
Deputy
main
Dangle.
character.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Oh, and Barbara Crampton too, as well
yeah.
as in
She's
this one.
in it.
And
Yeah,
wow,
Yeah,
nice.
that's
And Udo Kier.
exciting.
Oh, okay. Heck yeah.
and you
Well,
That
don't
one's
have to
on
watch.
Tubi.
Yeah. And it's just a straight spin-off. It's got or like just random. It's not kind of a requel, sort of a legacy sequel or whatever they call those, but not really. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I'm reading that they're like loosely connected, but yeah, it's
yeah, that one
definitely
I think is on Tubi.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they're
on
all on
Tubi.
Tubi right now. So
Most of them are. I don't think some of. I tried to look for some of them. I think like a handful of them aren't, but most of them are on Tubi for sure. And Peacock has like the first 5, I think, too. So I mean, these movies are easily streamable.
okay.
I want the Puppet Master box. They have a box that I think whoever makes Full Moon put out, and it's all the movies, and I want to buy it, but it's like $120, and I'm just like,
You got to
so
buy Evil
much.
Bong first, right? You got to buy the Evil Bong.
No, I
box
got to
set
buy
Box
those first.
series
The
on
stash box.
420.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
okay. So before we go, because we're coming up at the end of the hour,
Okay.
but before we go, I mean, Dan, can you please get her?
Bella's like, I have things to say. People
Mhm.
need to know.
She's like, you're talking
I've
about
not been pet.
toys. Oh my god. So so before we go, what Puppet Master is a killer doll movie. What is your favorite killer doll movie? And just really quick, go around the room.
I mean, it's probably Child's Play, the first one, or no, I'm sorry, the second Child's Play movie. But I also really like Demonic Toys a lot. I think that movie's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's probably off the top of my head, Child's Play 2 is the first thing that pops into my mind, and that's typically for me, like the first thing that pops into mind is probably your favorite one.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
he's always gonna pop up, right? So
yeah, it's when killer dolls. He's the king of the killer doll genre for sure.
for
Or
sure.
Dolly Dearest.
Yeah, no, I was actually gonna say that one, but go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, I think that's mine too, because that is my favorite of the Child's Play series. But I mean, I guess Megan would technically be a doll. That's not my favorite, but that's another one that I really liked.
Still need to see that. I know it's on Peacock. It pops up every time I try to get to it, and I just keep putting it on the back burner for whatever reason.
It was like a surprisingly like, oh, I like this. But yeah, I'll go with Child's Play too, because that's definitely my favorite of the franchise for sure.
Yeah, I mean my kids they loved Megan. They keep asking me to watch it, so I guess I'll watch it at some point. But yeah, obviously, yeah, me Threegan. But
Me
obviously, Child's Play always pops up. But my favorite Child's Play or film in the franchise is part 2, and then Bride of Chucky. So it's like I don't think it's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love part 1, but it's not end all be all. But Dolly Dearest is like another really great underrated. Really scary, and I watched it in 91 when it
that'll ruin your day
90s.
if you're as a little kid. Dolly Dearest will certainly ruin your day
because that's all we had were dolls, right? And
yeah,
so
I remember I watched that for the first time in a while, the Halloween watch, and it was I was like, this is actually pretty creepy. This is a pretty creepy movie for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And the doll is scary. Like she's not. Ugh. So anyway, and then I also wanted to do an honorable mention for Magic, starring Anthony Hopkins, and that's the one where he's got the dummy.
Mind. Yeah, get out of my head. I was just thinking about that.
You magician, you psychic.
Dreams.
Also, did you know they call themselves magicians, but they do no magic in this movie at all?
Wait,
oh yeah.
Yeah, like when he's talking to the widow, he was like, "Who are you people?" He's like, "Oh, some people call us. I guess we refer to ourselves as magicians." I'm like, "No, nobody's. You're not doing any kind of magic. You're not David fucking Copperfield. You go to sleep and you
Trained.
see the future. This one chick, she lays in your bed and she comes from it. That's what we do."
Oh my God. I know.
What we do. That's
was
the tagline.
so stupid. I
Yeah.
just think it was like a complete, like, what is the story plot going? Because it's too much. You have to have one thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have like all of these supernatural things, and like, this isn't X-Men. It's like whatever. So
I was like, yeah, that's what it's going to bring all together so they can make the new Gene School for Gifted Youngsters. That's what this Bodega Bay is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's the West Coast version of
Andre Toulon's School for Gifted Youngsters and puppets because
we gotta make the puppets
Because.
fun.
yeah, I mean it's a full moon Charles Band movie. There's got to be little rubber monsters and puppets in this thing. It's mandated.
And taxidermy dogs apparently. So
Yeah,
which I don't even understand that ending because I'm like, well, okay, so she brought the dog back,
but it wasn't her dog, was it?
It wasn't even her dog. It was Shayna's dog. I'm like, okay, all right. This is the twist. This is
also
like,
we didn't. I meant to mention like when they killed Gallagher, like he said, I'm mortal, nothing can kill me, and then these dolls like tear him apart in like 2 seconds. Like that's it. That's how you die
ooh.
after you're immortal. Like it was cool, but it was like all he did was drill him in the head. Like
No, but they put all that stuff down his throat.
oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that is true.
That was pretty.
Oh yeah,
brutal.
she like fed him the leech. That's right.
And why were they trying to help him? Because he was trying to get the elevator to help him. Like
they were literally fighting him
die.
off. Like 2 seconds before they were literally fighting him off, and then the puppets got there. It's like, oh no, that's too much.
Oh yeah,
Let me in.
we gotta get in the elevator. I'm like, you know what? Get the fuck out of here. Let the motherfucker die. If they can kill him, I thought he was immortal. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple plot holes, which is why I'm saying like there's some things in it that just kind of don't really.
I know this is not a perfect movie at all, but it's
No.
fun and it's enjoyable.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was everybody's favorite puppet? Was it Blade?
Mine was Blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so cute. Look at
Head.
him.
Looks like Klaus Kinski was apparently the who they wanted to look him after.
So fashionable. He's got a little hat on.
Little peacoat.
Right?
A little peacoat.
Little peacoat.
He definitely looks dapper for sure.
And then
It
I love
looks
how
like
his
some-
eyes get shiny.
He looks like some 30s neo noir like detective running around, just drinking scotch all day. She walked into my office. It was 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. I have on my second bottle of Johnny Walker Red.
And you get a sweet sax solo in the background.
She said her name was Lorelai Gilmore, and she never quit talking after that.
I hate you. Oh my God. Anyway.
That's a movie right there. It writes itself.
Yeah.
It does. So we're coming up at the end of the hour. We got to rush because I know Austin's off to go see Evil Dead Rise. Is going to be the first one of us to see it. So
No spoilers.
yes.
No,
I'm
never.
going
It's
to
just
see
gonna
it
be
on Saturday. So boop, boop.
okay.
I'm really excited.
Very exciting.
I
Very
know.
exciting.
Dan got his tickets. We picked our seats. Yay.
Nice.
Oh shit.
So we're
You
coming
going to
up at
the
end of
Cobb?
Yeah, I'm downstairs. Yeah.
Nice.
Not really. That theater is going to shit. I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, is it? That's a
Yeah.
shame. It used to be
Shame you,
nice.
It used
shame
to
you
be
guys
really
never
nice.
got that Alamo. Shame you guys never got that Alamo.
Tell me about it.
Well, I wouldn't drive to go to it. So there.
Well,
Anyway, once the car's in the garage, I don't leave. Like I thought we discussed it.
Just put me in my PJs, then that's it. It's the end of the day.
If I can't walk, I ain't going. So anyway, as we're coming to the end of the hour, Austin, where can we find you and your lovely co-hosts?
Oh, you can find us on Facebook at Frightmares and Instagram and Slasher app at Frightmares Podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. We're everywhere. Follow me on TikTok at silver.shamrock or Letterbox at Dr. Proctor.
Okay. And Jason, if you want to get yourself a dental dam, where would you go?
oh, quick fix for that one. Redbubble.com/slasherspod. All kinds of merch, t-shirts, hats, stickers, Diva cups, all kinds of great stuff that we can get for you at the Redbubble Slashers page.
Yes, and you want to get in there because there's a lot of fun designs. Jake worked very hard on all of them, and there's like so many to choose from. So if you don't like anything, you probably know somebody who would. So
it was
feel
always
free.
funny when Jake would like randomly make a new T-shirt, and Adrian in the group chat would go, "Oh my gosh, Jake, thanks, Jake. We've already got 40 things on the page now."
Well, let's add a dental dam, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and thongs coming soon. Anyways, and if you want to support us, G-strings, yeah, they've got little beads on the butt.
We can have a huge teddy where it's the slashers across the chest,
and the goon show in the crotch.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I know. I'm so sorry, Austin. So you got to get on the Red Bubble. Anyway,
I know.
If you want to support us
selling
monetarily,
butt plugs and shit.
Oh yeah, with your face on it. There you go. Mikey,
that'll be
the biggest customer.
That'll be where it's flared out. It's just Austin's thing going like with the thumbs up, like yeah. Like the Steve back tattoo, like yeah, dude.
Oh
that's
my
just
God.
the flared part of the butt plug is just Austin. Just
I know. Terrible.
Happy 420, Austin. So if you want to support us monetarily, you can join us on patreon.com/slasherspod. We have tiers from $1 to $10. So please feel free. You get some extra goodies if you do it, if you join certain tiers. So please go ahead and join us. And you get episodes early. So if you want to listen to us before Monday, you can always hear it at that time. So also, you can follow us on Instagram at SlashersPod or Mutant Goons from Beyond. You can also follow us at Slashers Podcast on Facebook. You can follow all of us on Instagram. So feel free to follow the Slashers Pod page first, and then you can see us all listed there. Please, no dick pics. For the love of God, send them to Mikey.
Send them to Frightmares. Send them to Frightmares.
Send them to Frightmares and to Jason.
I'll rate
and
it.
To Doug. Do not.
I'll rate it if you want.
You can't. Don't rate it for free. Okay. Don't rate anything for free.
$5
if you're good
rates,
at it,
$5
if you're good at it, don't do it for free. Okay.
That's true.
And we know you're good at those dick ratings.
Oh my gosh, I know, because Austin's great at judging things. So here we are. Anyway, and so we have a lot of fun things coming up for y'all next month. We've got our Mother's Day killer horror type.
Yeah, and these won't be cult movies either. We had 2 straight months of cult movies. They're gonna be much more mainstream movies that everybody have watched, and it's gonna be mother themed for Mother's Day.
For Mother's Day, and then June for Father's Day. So because we've got a lot of daddies on this show.
It's soon to be daddy up here too.
I know our daddy to be below, or he's below me on the screen. I don't know where the hell he is. Anyways, so with that, love y'all. Goodbye and good day.